Do you want to do that clappy thing?
No, it's okay. We're
you don't
already
want to
going.
do the clappy thing?
Do you want a clappy thing?
You
do you
always
like
do
clapping?
the clappy thing.
Go ahead and clap.
We clap together.
In 3, 2, 1.
That sucked.
3, 2, 1.
You were just trying
3, 1,
to
2,
fuck.
3.
You were trying to fuck
1,
with
2,
me
3.
now. It's clearly. There you go.
It's the Jack
And Kathy
Show.
shit show.
And there we go.
Yeah, how was that?
Okay,
Did you like
I
that
think
one?
I think it. Yeah.
Okay.
How are you feeling? You don't look so hot.
I know.
Sorry. You sure you want to do this, babe?
Let's see how I do.
Ooh,
I got a migraine.
You're very loud right now.
Am I?
Yeah, your microphone is peaking.
Oh my.
I don't know where that came from.
Are we going to edit that out?
No, it's staying. It's like a hiccup thing. It was crazy, right? Hi.
Hi.
It's a very quiet hi from you.
Mm-hmm.
I feel bad.
I think I have salad in my teeth.
You always have food in your teeth.
I know. What's that about?
I don't know. It's so funny. Like, you literally capture so much food. So funny. We need a better background.
I know. We'll get something.
I don't like this at all.
We're slowly upgrading.
We're getting famous
the
now.
visuals.
On some,
We did have, what was that ranking that you just got recently?
why is your volume so high today compared to mine? What is going? Burp, burp. Burp. Okay, I'll fix this later.
Should I back away from
No,
it?
not at all. I'll fix it. Yeah, I forget what the site was, but we were ranked 4th in podcasts about divorce out of 20.
Divorce or relationships?
Divorce.
Oh, really?
Life after divorce, yeah. It was life after divorce, which made me think maybe that's what we should focus on and not dating, because we don't date. We don't know about dating. We don't have dating advice. Well, I'm serious. It's been like 16 years since we dated. How long have we been together now?
16, give or take 13,
Plus or minus?
plus or minus.
I'm sorry you're feeling bad.
I know.
I feel bad that you're feeling bad.
I know. I think I had a migraine once
Where?
before.
Babe,
Okay.
where are all of my podcast ideas?
You sent them to me.
Did
Go
I-
back to your folders.
Did I email it to you? But it's not in here.
Go to...
Babe, where did they go?
Oh, podcast topics. There it was.
Where? Where'd you see it?
Third one.
Oh, thank God. Hello. Maybe I should put on my glasses.
Maybe you should.
I couldn't see anything, I swear to God.
Oh my God. You had just taken them off too.
We do have a lot to talk about today.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your
Like what?
migraine. Want to talk about your migraine or no?
Migraines suck. And I went way too long today without eating. And when I am hungry and just have a lot going on, that is enough for all of that to collide. And I get a migraine. And so I took my med and I laid down for a couple hours and I'm definitely functioning. I definitely feel like I can function, but I also am not quite right. So there you have it.
You have probably need to get into a better habit of eating in the morning.
Yeah, I usually do. I did not expect to go that long.
Yeah.
I really did not.
I don't think you
So-
make it a habit like I make it a habit. Like I don't
No, I
think you get
definitely
up,
do
sit
better.
down, eat. I think
When
you have to
I-
do that.
Excuse me for yawning. When I wake up in the morning, I am not hungry. And I like to have, we make our yummy drink. We have this homemade mud water that has all kinds of healthy stuff in it. We have a mud water latte. And that kind of fills me up. Like I'm not even hungry. And sometimes when I have that avocado toast or whatever it is, I'm not necessarily hungry, but I know I should eat. And this morning I had a lot going on. I was trying to prep for my 10 o'clock appointment. I had to clean my ass up. You know, gotta have that shower and get ready time. Can't just put on yesterday's dirty clothes and throw my hair in a ponietail. I had to look cute like. And then I had that audition. I got like this call for an audition and they required all this stuff. So I was trying to do all this stuff this morning and I thought, okay, I'll eat after the appointment. And then I went and picked you up at the airport. And then we had to do the photography on the house. And then we had to go right out. And that took longer. And it just, that wasn't my plan. But
I know,
point being,
I just feel that when you wake up, you just have to do it. And I'm not always hungry when I eat, but I know it is the most important meal of the day.
Yep.
And you have to get started with it.
Yep.
So it's getting out of bed, getting into routine. However the day flows out, you can react to it. But that's pretty good. You did well.
Isn't that good? My right hand cannot snap, though. It's wimpy because I lost this little muscle here somehow. But, yeah, okay, you're the best snapper on the planet, okay? We know that.
I just want to say that I really feel you need to make that a habit, not just a thing once in a while. Get up, get out of bed, feet on the floor, get downstairs, water, matcha, some kind of breakfast with some protein.
Yeah. Agreed.
Because you went 9 hours without eating. You fasted for almost 20 hours.
Oh, that's
You did.
not exactly right. But
Well, you went to bed.
You
went to bed at what time? What time was the last time you ate? 7 o'clock at night?
probably. Yep,
Yeah, you
7
did.
o'clock. And
12 hours is 7 o'clock in the morning. Another 7 hours is noon. So that's 19 hours. We didn't eat until 3 o'clock, 2:30.
I ate cashews. I brought
Come
something.
on. Give me a break. That's not eating. You know what I
Babe,
mean?
I agree with you
good.
about breakfast,
Well, good.
okay?
Good.
Let's have a fight right on the air.
Hold on a second.
You take those snappy fingers and you just
You take your
put them
snappy
where the
fingers.
sun don't shine.
Okay, ready? I can still snap from back there and you can hear it. I can feel it too. I feel bad for you and I want you to eat better in the morning, please.
Yes.
Create better habits.
Yes.
That's love, okay?
Just don't get mad at me.
I can't help but get mad at you sometimes.
You get mad at me.
I get mad when you know that the outcome could happen and you still let it happen. Eat your breakfast. Drink your water. You get mad at me when I don't drink water.
That's true. And how do you like it?
I appreciate it because you're right. You knew I was going to say that. I do appreciate it. You're right. I have to do those things in order to stay healthy.
Mm-hmm.
So get your ass up, get your water, get your tea, get your food, call it a day.
Okay.
Lecture over.
Thank you.
For the
Moving
moment. I just want to talk quickly about wedding plans because that was on the last podcast.
Yeah.
What a fucking nightmare.
I know.
I'm
Why
sorry.
is getting married so stressful?
We just want to...
I get why people go to the courthouse. I get why people just like, I don't know.
Babe,
elope or
essentially we're
some
going
shit.
to the courthouse because we have to do that to get the license, right? So Erin's officiating is really nothing more than...
Going to the courthouse.
Well, but the efficient part of what she's doing for us is I don't want to say performative because that sounds mean, but
No,
it's not
symbolic.
It's symbolic. That's a much better word. I like that. Much better. While it's
special.
symbolic, we still have to go to the Milwaukee courthouse,
Yeah.
fill out some papers. But that's not really what bothers me. It's not that. We just wanted to have a dinner.
Right.
We just want to have a simple dinner with 40 people. I feel like having it at the house now. I'm not shitting you. I don't know how we'd fit everybody, but don't you feel
well,
like doing it
there's
in our
that.
backyard? We could do it in our backyard and we'd easily fit 40 people. I'm serious. It's just becoming a nightmare. Like just having a nice dinner is $5,000, $6,000. Am I being a baby? Oh boy, I am.
I would not call you a baby. It's not $5,000 or $6,000. It'll be half that at least.
No
It'll
way.
be
It's going to be
$3,000.
It's going to be more than that. And
Why is it 5 or 6?
when I put the spread, you don't remember the spreadsheet when we were on the airplane. It was $3,800. And that's not flowers. That's not anything else. It was just
Okay.
food, drink, haul.
Okay.
It was
So
$3,800.
now do you not even want to do that?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is getting so silly. We just want to have dinner.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine if we had it in the backyard, like a potpourri thing. Potpourri? Smorgasbord? Potpourri. So stupid. We're recording this later.
Can I pull up what potpourri
No.
is?
I know what it is, and I was dumb, so just let it go.
It's a potpourri.
Potluck, I think is what I meant to say.
Oh.
But po and pourri came out, so I'm so embarrassed.
That's so funny.
A smorgasbord. Well, you know what I mean.
Yes. All right. So it's
Right?
not final, is what you're saying. You still want to shift.
I
like the
think-
idea of having it at the house. Feels like a lot of work. I mean, that's a lot more on us instead of just showing up here and then showing up there and walking out. You know, that's on us.
What do you mean?
We've got a lot. That's hosting a big party, and that's then on us.
Well,
so yes,
okay.
we save money,
Yeah, but
but
can I throw an idea out there? We've already paid for Nilsa to work it. Maybe Nilsa and Paul just work our party for us. And we still have to cater something, but now we just have it at the house. It just feels
what if
cray
the weather's
to me.
not good?
We have a roof.
No, but where does everybody eat, babe?
Well,
Where does
some
40
can eat-
people
some
fit
people
in
can
the
eat-
house?
Some people can eat.
We don't fit in the house, babe.
Can
I
I-
know. I like the idea, but
Some people downstairs, some people upstairs.
so we're not dining together? It's like Christmas and everybody grabs a plate and disappears?
Well, that's what I said. That's what I said. That's what I meant by potpourri. Or more like
That's what
potluck,
you
or more
want?
smorgasbord.
That's what you want? Just like
No,
casual?
no,
like
what I
grab
want.
A,
I'll
we'll,
tell you
we'll
what I
make
want.
lasagna.
You know what I
and
want?
We'll
I sent you an Instagram post.
I'll make
Did
a
you see-
casserole.
casserole. I'll make a salad. I make a good cabbage salad.
We'll make cabbage salad and casserole.
We'll just make vegan
and,
meals, and everyone will be starving
and
afterward.
like potato salad or something. And it'll be
How about just
like,
hot dogs, babe? We can have a
Great.
hot dog palooza.
Great.
Hot dog palooza.
I'll just wear my sweatpants.
Come on now. I'm not going that in. So
I'll just wear my sweatpants.
You know-
and then we'll make, that'll be great.
I won't shave for a week.
That feels special.
Just come downstairs scratching my crotch.
That
What
feels
is everyone
special.
doing here? I sent you an Instagram post of ski trips to, did you see the Switzerland ski stuff?
I did not.
I thought you said you looked the other day, you're like, hey, I caught up on all the Instagram stuff you sent me.
Oh, this is the other day? Wait, what was the ski thing?
It showed how a 4-day ski pass in Aspen is $1,200 and a
Oh, I did
4-day
see that
ski
one,
pass
sorry.
in Zermatt,
Where's
is-
Zermatt?
by the Matterhorn.
Oh.
It is, which it's in Switzerland,
Oh.
was $300.
Oh,
It was just
wow.
showing how skiing in Switzerland is half of what it is in the U.S. And that's what I wanted all along, was to go to Lucerne and then ski.
Yeah.
Boom. So it's all coming together. That's what we.
Only it's not.
It's not. Let's
It's all
change.
coming
Let's,
together. Boom.
when we change topics, we're going to do this from now on. Ready? That's going to be the click to change topics. Ready? Ready?
Excellent.
Anyway, the wedding's driving me crazy, and I hope on our next podcast we don't talk about it anymore.
Well, okay, but babe,
Babe.
we had
Babe.
mutually decided
But babe.
that we were going to spend like 10 grand.
Yep.
And then it started to get out of control. So
10 grand combined.
As all our listeners know, we pared it all down because that was not going to be super feasible and it was getting very complicated.
I'm laughing as everyone's
So
listening. thinking
now,
I'm the
if we only
cheapest
spend
shit.
5 or 6, and we're sharing in the expenses, you and me, let's just do it. Can we please just take a really easy show up here, show up there road, and
Okay.
then go party with everybody? And
Fine.
we're going to have a house full of guests because the kids are
Fine.
welcome to stay with us.
Fine.
Okay. All right. Decision made now.
So we're not making the salad?
We're not making potato salad.
There's not going to be potpourri?
There's going to be no
Potpourri.
charcuterie board. There's gonna
Carol
be
makes a
no-
really good
that
charcuterie
she
board.
does. That she does.
let's
There's
rethink this.
Going to be no.
Can we just save it for next podcast and we'll rethink it?
Nope. decision was made. It was documented, recorded. All right.
Changing topics.
You could just go.
We do need a background. So we're going to get a background. If anyone has any
We
suggestions
have
for
this
what a
real
background.
wood wall. What's wrong with that?
It looks, I don't know. We're better than this. We
With
need a
the
studio.
end of the ceiling.
Yeah, we need a studio. We did a good job refinishing and fixing this up, so that's emblematic of our work. And then right behind you is a wall that I built right there, which we did a good job of. Let's change topics.
Okay, go.
So
Lead us into. You had a topic idea, and
lead
tell
us
the peoples,
into
tell
the
peoples
road
background.
you want to go down. So you and I listened. We love Kara Swisher and Scot Galloway on Pivot.
Mm-hmm.
There are certain podcasts we love to listen to, and this one is a primarily business podcast, right? Talks about tech and investments and stuff like that.
Yes, it does. It covers big topics like that. But as with many podcasts, especially when there's two hosts, they talk about personal stuff. They talk about, they have banter, which I love.
Well, but that wasn't the point of this podcast of theirs. It wasn't about their banter.
I bring that up because this podcast was about their relationship.
But it wasn't their podcast.
I know it was Esther.
It was Esther Perel's podcast.
Yes, and they rebroadcast it on their show on Pivot.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And
I wasn't sure where you were going.
Well, it's through the banter of the podcast that you get to know their personalities a little bit more too. It's not just when they talk about the topic and the political stuff or the tech stuff or whatever, but they have this
They show
banter.
their human side. They have a connection.
They have a connection, and you see it when you listen to this banter. That just sort of shooting the shit. Oh, Scott's in Switzerland, and he went skiing with his boys, and or whatever.
Right.
And I
it's good stuff.
it is. It's
They
good
show
stuff.
their humanity.
I like it. They're very different people.
Yeah.
But they have a great amount of mutual respect for each other. So, yes, this go ahead.
Well, so Esther Perel has her own. Look it up. Do we have to describe? I'm not playing it. Do we have to play it?
No.
Okay.
No.
So if you go to Pivot, wherever you get your podcasts, they're not on YouTube though. I think they're only on podcast format, so they don't do any video stuff.
Okay.
But the most recent one, so it was released on February 19th probably or something like that. Anyway, it was about their relationship. And Esther Perel, who is a relationship therapist, who's phenomenal. She's had
very famous, very well
TED
known.
Talk, yeah.
It's kind of hard to scroll through social media and not come
run
across
into her,
an Esther
Yeah.
repost of some kind or a TED Talk or something.
So the podcast was amazing, and Esther brought up a really interesting topic. They're both married to other people, and Kara is part of the LGBTQ community, so there's no, as Esther said, sexual tension between them.
Right.
Right? So it kind of removes a barrier that might otherwise exist in heterosexual couples or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Because they're complete opposite ends of the spectrum for that stuff. And so Esther wanted to dive into what their relationship was like, and they have their disagreements.
Mm-hmm.
They don't align on a lot of things, or some things. So it was really interesting because it made me, I'm listening to it when I was on the plane heading out to see Sam's home opener on Tuesday night. And I told you, oh my God, you got to listen to it. And it gave me the idea of what I wanted us to talk about in our relationship. Mm-hmm. And then I've got another topic that I want to talk about next podcast. So that's this one right here, right? Remember the other one we talked about?
Yeah.
So what I wanted to talk about today is it started out with this gratitude stuff, right? Like Scott was just really grateful that he gets to, in his words, kind of like ride on the wind or drafts behind Kara's success.
Yes.
I think is what he said. And it just made me realize that because we had been at Georgia Southern together to see Sam's baseball season open, and we spent a lot of time together, and my ex-wife was there. We don't often talk about our exes, in fact, rarely on this, and it just gave the podcast kind of tied a whole bunch of things together for me.
Yeah.
You want to jump in?
No, go right ahead.
You look like you have thoughts or something on your mind, but I wanted our podcast today to talk about us. and kind of how far we've come. Mm-hmm. And it's almost like a 3-year review. Mm-hmm. I can't think of any better way to say it, or 2-year, 9-month review, whatever the hell it is.
Yeah.
So I got excited about when I heard those two talk through a counselor. I thought, man, it'd be cool. I wish we had Esther here talking about us and what we've gone through. So I had a bunch of questions and topics I thought we could talk about. One was gratitude, because Scott kept talking about how grateful he was just to be a part of Kara's world, and that if something were to happen to Kara, the podcast is over, right? And then, of course, she joked, well, if something happens to you, I'll just find someone else to be a guest.
Yes.
But I want to talk about gratitude and ask you, when I mention gratitude and in context of that podcast, what comes to mind? When you think of also of our relationship and how much we've evolved or grown or what have you. Oh my
gosh. I am so grateful to be in this relationship with you. I had been searching for someone like you, and finding you and sharing in what we share is even more than I ever could have imagined. I think I've expressed that before on previous podcasts, but I didn't know I knew I wanted a partner. I didn't know exactly what that looked like. And you check every single box for me, baby. You really do. You show up in ways I didn't even know to expect of somebody. I am so grateful for you. And I am so grateful that your kids are so awesome.
Yeah, we're so lucky that way.
So awesome. I'm so grateful because I know my kids are awesome. And these awesome human beings, the 5 of them, seem to think each other is rather cool. They might not be best friends and, whatever, but that's okay. Just the fact that they kind of think, I think I can hang out with these people is so huge. I love your family. I'm so grateful that your family is so wonderful. Your mom, I was very lucky to have met your father before he passed away.
Yeah.
And your sister and Bill and her husband, Bill, her husband, and their kids. Your sister and Bill and her husband.
It's an interesting group, but it works for them.
So, because there are so many boxes we try to check as we form this partnership, and our expectations of our partners are really, really high. Maybe sometimes you could argue unreasonably high, like higher than what we expect from other people in our lives, right? We expect the most from our partners.
Why do you think that is? Just in general, or you and I do that?
No, I think in general.
Oh,
I think in general we do that, and we're hardest on our partners. Maybe because, I don't know, that would be an interesting thing to dive into a little bit.
Dive into it.
So,
or you mean like another topic?
Yeah, maybe that's another topic. I don't know. Okay. Or maybe they overlap. But
where were you going with it? Sorry, I interrupted you.
It was just me expressing all the different ways that I'm so grateful to have you in my life. And I'm so grateful that, I don't know. I kind of thought there were definitely moments when I thought, I might not meet someone. This might be it.
Weren't you okay with that, though?
Serial dater. I had to be okay with that. Yes, I had to be okay with it.
Don't you feel we just got lucky? I know it sounds crazy to say it, but man, I don't know. I just feel we're lucky.
I feel like we were lucky to have met. And then I also think that we are making it work. Like, it's not like, it just clicks and there it was, and it was easy sailing all the way through. We have had some serious bumps and arguments and butting heads. And at the end of the day, I'm with a partner that I have complete confidence in you and how you feel about me and this trajectory of our relationship. And that feels tremendous. And I'm so grateful for that.
I told you in the car that I don't like or want us to talk about exes, and yet I felt there was a moment that our relationship and what it means to me was amplified because of some interactions I had with my ex.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm very, very sensitive to talking about this. Remember what we talked about in the car?
Yep, I do.
Do you feel I can approach it?
Yeah.
I mean, I know our kids listen, so I'm very sensitive to that, and I don't want them. It's less, you asked me a question about something else, and it's not, remember you said to me, did their real side show up? It wasn't my ex, it was something else, remember? You said, well, did you see their real side then? Mm-hmm. It was about something else, remember? Did they showed you who they really were?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And I said to you, no, I actually saw the real me. Mm-hmm. And what was really important to me. Mm-hmm. And I realized that they always were that way. I was just accepting of it.
Well, isn't that the truth, right?
And so it wasn't that they
you choose to see
That's right.
and feel and hear and believe what suits your narrative you're trying to create for yourself.
And so, because I think the anecdote is important, my personality style started to morph into her personality style, which is just a little bit more, just a little more sarcastic and kind of biting. And I can certainly be that way and be quick with that. I just don't like it. And I didn't grow up with that. That just happens to be the wit and, some luck I have in my brain working fast. But there was a moment we were talking about how cold we were and you're on my left saying, well, do you want me to get you a blanket? Do you want me to go to the car? Do you want me to get you something? And I go, no, I'm okay. It's just my feet. I'm just going to move and go for a walk. And then to my right, I don't want to pick on her. I want this to be seen more as how it affects you personally, right? Because I don't want it to be seen as there's that you were better in that circumstance than she was. You fit more of what I need.
Yes. Yes.
Someone else may not give a shit, right? Someone may think, calf, back off. I got this, right?
Yeah.
So the point I'm trying to make and where I'm grateful is that in some way I'm grateful that we got lucky that I met someone who has the same level of compassion as I do because my feet were really cold. And what I was kind of told was, well, my feet are fine because I got these really good shoes and how come you didn't put on double socks? And it was all this stuff that I remember being, that's not really what I'm looking for right now is to tell me I was wrong with the shoes that I brought for this trip. Yeah. Because the weather changed. I just wanted to be able to say I was cold. And if someone go, that sucks. Hey, can I get something for you? Right. Mm-hmm. And so, if there's maybe a lesson that we're trying to bring up here is that I'm very grateful of what we represent and what we are because I'm so much more myself. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Like you sensed I was cold and we were trying to solve it and we were kind to one another. And that's no disparaging the response that I received on my other side. Yeah. Someone else may say the same thing like, "Oh, where'd you get those shoes?" "Ah, shit, I should have wore those shoes. Damn, I should have thought about that." Maybe, what I'm getting at? Am I making any sense?
Yeah, I think what you're trying to say is you found in me somebody that supports you or responds to you in the way that I needed.
That I needed. Yeah. Correct.
And so not to make another person wrong.
That's right.
Or bad. It's just about that aspect of who we are fits together better.
And so here's my next question for you. So that's what I'm grateful for, that you give me space to be myself. Hell no, we're not perfect. We still get mad at one another. The mad is different. It's not, I don't know if this is going to work mad like it was early on because we both had issues that we're trying to navigate. It's more, I just need to get away from you for a moment. Yeah. Right? Yep. And then we solve it pretty quickly, I feel. We're getting much better at it. But that leads me to my next question, which was a question that kind of talked about in the podcast with Esther Perel and Scott and Kara. Is this okay so far?
Absolutely.
Right. It's one of the things I love that the Gottmans talk about is that your partner should have influence over you. That doesn't mean change you, But you should, as the receiver, allow your partner, like you should feel comfortable if I say, like we talked about this morning, or just now rather, eat breakfast, please.
Yeah.
Just like you say to me, drink your water. Allowing the person to have influence over one another is good because it helps us grow, not change. I'm not trying to change you, right? You don't have to eat the same thing I do. We both agree that it's important, right? Or I don't have to drink the same way you do. We both agree water is important. So what are you learning? What are we learning about each other? What do you feel you've learned about and through one another in this relationship? You know, what kind of related to that being influenced by and connected to, what do you feel you've learned from this relationship? I feel
like I've learned loads and loads. I think you are somebody that has come to know me better than any other person ever. And with that territory comes someone that knows my strengths, but someone that really has observed my weaknesses and maybe been affected by my weaknesses or weak moments or, you know, whatever, a poor choice or poor, you know, whatever. And to work through that with somebody is a very vulnerable place to be. So I really think that is something that is very new territory for me, to work through my own vulnerabilities with a partner and still feel like I can be vulnerable and I can be weak and still know that you're there. You know, like I didn't lose you because of it. Or you don't think less of me because of it.
Would you used to worry about that in the past?
Probably, okay. Yeah. I worked hard to
cover it up?
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
You worked hard to cover up that fear? Shove her up?
Cover up
I worked
weaknesses.
Hard to shut her up.
I know. My brain is at
foggy
half
bottom.
mast right now.
Foggy bottom.
Yep.
Speaking of half masts.
What would that mean?
Nothing.
Jack
Just go.
Honer.
Just go.
I lost my train of thought now. See?
You were talking about being vulnerable, and I asked you if that was, you said you used to mask that or hide that or prevent that from showing.
Yes, definitely. I think I was masterful at that. You know, it's goes back to my career as a model in front of the camera. Every single job.
You were a model?
Yeah, I know. Look at you're in the company of such greatness.
What?
But it every single job was so stressful for me, and nobody knew. Nobody. I would be just a ball of stress. I think I just became very good at internalizing all of it, and now I have somebody that is like, wait a minute, what's going on there? What's going? Is this spot sensitive? Let me put my finger right on it.
Who's totally not afraid to call it out either.
No, you're not. And I welcome that, believe it or not.
You don't always welcome it. On one hand,
I'm like, shut up, don't look. Don't look at me. Look away.
On most hands, you're like that, not one.
Yes.
Most of your hands. It is.
But the truth is, I also am very grateful for it. So.
Yeah, I have to tell you, what I have learned about myself, I've really come to like a lot of me as I've gotten older, which I didn't always do. Mm-hmm. And certainly didn't in the last 8 years. I was really trying to reset everything. In fact, I remember when I got divorced, maybe 3 years later, 2 years later, I was with my cousin at a bar and we were just laughing and being silly. And she goes, I haven't seen this guy in 15 years.
Right.
And you know, that was my journey. I'm not saying that was yours. Mine was to come back to kind of some of my roots and change.
Come back to who you are.
Some of my soul characteristics,
yeah.
right? Yeah. And then move forward into whatever new dynamics represent themselves or present themselves, rather. Mm-hmm. And what you bring is this, I've never really struggled to be vulnerable with you, I don't think, right? I haven't struggled with that.
No. I think you did work on that prior to meeting me.
For sure. I think I struggled with fear meaning more trust.
Trust.
You and I
Yes.
talked about this, where I didn't trust you.
Yeah, that was a biggie for you for
Months,
yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Probably 6
at least.
at least, right?
Yeah.
If not longer.
Yeah.
And we had moved in here and I still didn't trust you.
And even
Right.
and in the moments of our fight, I feel like you would default to the lack of trust right away.
Yeah, for
you'd
sure.
Create the story of how.
And so you have really instilled in me this, it's just so, it's so funny how if there's any advice we can give people who went through divorce and are now dating again, right?
Mm-hmm.
I guess it could apply to any dating thing, but man, it comes back to just really being yourself and being open to the influence of your partner, but also knowing what is important to you and being compatible, not having chemistry. Chemistry is cool. Compatibility is awesome.
Do you think it's hard to sometimes just be yourself?
Me?
No, I just mean people in general. Like, I think some people are very out of touch with who they are, you know?
When it comes to dating, I wasn't myself for sure. Mm-hmm. Because I wanted to, you know what it was? I wanted to, this is going to sound terrible. It's the first phrase that came to mind, get the job. Like a job interview though, right?
Yeah.
So I put on this, I was borderline performative. I was acting a part of me.
Right.
And because I thought, well, the relationship is going to benefit by me not putting my whole self in, but part of me, and I'm going to manage their dynamics. You're the first person since being divorced that I was truly myself, where I went, I can't be concerned with whether or not you're going to like all these aspects of me. And yes, I don't know. What do you think? Do you think people aren't always themselves?
Yes.
Were you not yourself?
Probably not.
Prior
my
to
full
me?
self. Probably not. I was probably very similar in that it's like, okay, these are the bits that most people like. These are the ones that I'll push forward. And, other aspects that don't feel so strong and impressive or exciting or might be, I know. Seen as a weakness or something, those I'm just going to tuck away a little bit. I don't want anyone to see those.
Yeah. That didn't cross. I'm telling you, I went through such a metamorphosis before I met you. That the day I met you, it's funny because I had a date the night prior to meeting you. You knew that.
Yeah.
And I was totally myself on that one too. So it was just with you, is I had this mindset of I'm going to be myself.
Was she blonde?
Nope.
Oh.
And I'm going to be myself. Like are we going to do that right now? Seriously? Yeah. No, we're not. But I went into that. I went into it being myself and the night was awkward as fuck. Mm-hmm. And then I felt myself going, all right, Jack, stop it. Like back off of that self stuff that you do, the silly one-liners, the office style jokes, the dad joke stuff, right? That's what she said. Because I did that when you and I were on our date. Mm-hmm. You said something. I'm like, that's what she said. But you laughed. And when I did it the night before, I went, I'm getting no response here. And so believe it or not, my instinct would have been recoil, lay back a little bit, show that side later. Right. And with you, I shouldn't say with you, you responded to it well. And so that's why I wonder, were we lucky or were we skilled in that we both met each other being very ourselves. I feel just listening to you that you were much more yourself with me than you might have been on other dates. Yeah. Do you agree with that or am I just projecting? I
agree with that. I do. I'm sure that, in the dating app profile, I definitely played down any, I didn't use any professional images or anything in the dating profile, right? I use like real images and real moments in my life. And I think that when I would go on other first dates, I would probably get a little, you get dressed up a little bit. You put a little makeup on.
Not for me, you did. Not for me, you didn't.
But meeting you for the first time, I came straight from the office, and I didn't really expect to. And I just felt comfortable just showing up with virtually no makeup on and a pair of chinos and some Converse sneaks and a white shirt and backpack on, and
Well, let me ask you: do you feel? I think this is important, and this is not I'm not trying to feed my ego here, but I'm wondering what role I might have had in just changing your dynamic or thinking, because I know you had said to me, let's go eat because you want to go to this one restaurant. And then you said, let's change that because I want to go watch the Bucks. Let's just go to the bar and chill. And then you said, hey, and I think I said to you, I'm in jeans and a t-shirt. Mm-hmm. I am not dressed up for this. And here's what's funny. Normally on any other date night, I would have brought a change of clothes to the studio with me, right? I would have said to Mike, because he's got a shower there, I'm like, hey, can I just clean up here real quick?
Exactly.
Or gone to a friend's house because I had friends in the city. I would have cleaned up, put myself together, and I went, I'm not doing it. Mm-hmm. I want this. And I wasn't a slob. I look probably similar to the way I do now, right?
Well, that shower could have. No,
Shut up. Did I look? I didn't look like a slob, did I? I look nice.
No,
I look decent,
I have
right?
no recollection of what you were wearing, to be honest.
Wow, that's hurtful.
Do you know what you were wearing?
Yeah, you were wearing... No, I don't remember at all.
Okay.
I'm willing to bet I was looking very similar to this, only I didn't have a hat. Because I figured
you did
the
not
hat
have a
looks
hat
too
on,
casual.
I know. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I want to look a little bit nicer than that. But I know I was wearing jeans. I know I was wearing decently cool shoes, so not just gym shoes, and a t-shirt that fit me well. Mm-hmm. But I went into it saying, this is what she's getting because I'm coming from the studio and I'm going to be myself. And that's what I look like when I come home from stuff.
Yeah.
And you had engaged me in such a way that you said, well, do you want me to change? And I went, bad breath is cool. No makeup is awesome.
Yeah.
So did that have an influence on you to say, this just feels relaxing and comfortable, so I'm not going to sweat it?
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. And it was also our banter going back and forth. It was very lighthearted. It was funny. I was giggling to myself, you know, and so that all made it feel really, really comfortable. And yeah.
Well, that's why
I think I also felt rather confident that day too. Like just, if it's similar to you, like, well, if this guy likes me, great. If not, oh, well,
I feel that what I've learned about us is that I'm going to rewind all the way back to the Georgia Southern game and then come forward to where we are today, is that anyone has to be second time around, especially if you're going to start dating after divorce, because you've got such a long fucking train behind you of experiences, right? You got so many experiences you bring with you from your childhood,
baggage.
Whatever you want to call it, right? A
lot of experiences,
a lot of train cars, right?
Stuff, yeah.
A lot of history you got to manage.
Yes.
And if there's one thing I learned, it's that I just had to be authentic.
Yeah.
And so showing up the way I did, and then also that's how I show up, and then realizing what I want.
Yeah.
And so sitting next to you at the game where I'm going, man, my feet are freezing. And you're saying, well, let's go inside. Let's go for a walk.
Let's get to hot coffee.
Let's go to hot coffee, right? It was all these things that weren't, well, you should have worn better shoes then, idiot. Mm-hmm. Right? Which is how it feels. Maybe that wasn't how it was meant. I'm sure it wasn't how it was meant, but that's how it felt. That's how it felt. Mm-hmm. So I needed to be with someone that felt better, right?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So I've got two more questions for you.
Okay.
Because we're doing okay on time, and I got to head out to the airport. We're going to head out to the airport tomorrow morning. You're going to take me? We're going to do it in the morning then? Or do you want to do it tonight?
We're deciding this on the podcast right now?
Well, you tell me later.
I vote for the morning.
All right, we'll go in the morning. I'm going to wake you up at 6.
Okay. Or you drive alone tonight.
Then I got to move. I'm terrified of driving this late at night.
Okay.
Getting in at 10:30. I'm kind of nervous.
Okay.
I'd rather get a good night's sleep. But will you move the truck? Will you put the truck in the garage, or do you want me to do it? I'll do it. I just saw your face. I'll do it. I do it better than you anyway. So...
Oh, my God.
So, two things I have for you that are kind of tied together. Like, how are we changing, and where do you see us going? I'm truly viewing this as a mid-relationship review status update thing. And you're getting a raise, by the way. So in case you were nervous about that.
I can't wait to see what that looks like.
Yeah, but for real,
how
do you feel we're changing? Or how do you feel you've changed, and where do you see, what do you see as like moving toward?
I have said, what I have said to you many times is, baby, we've only just begun, right?
Yes.
I can start to see, both of us being the same age, and like you say, you have these train cars behind you.
Yeah.
You have, when you're on this planet for this amount of time, you've got life behind you.
Yeah.
And when you meet somebody new, you don't have a history.
Right.
You are building a history, creating history, writing a history. And I really can see how you and I are writing our history together.
Yeah.
And writing, just building on our lives together. When I say we've only just begun, that's what I mean. Like, we are going to create an entire life together, as we already have. I mean, look at how, again, so grateful for this, how our lives have entwined, and how your world has become my world and my world has become your world. And that includes the people and work and what we engage in every day. And then we're building this house. This house is kind of our baby, right? And Alex and Sam are having a baby, and we're going to experience that together. And then, whatever else goes on with all our kids, that is building our history. And I just love building that history with you. I love this journey that we are on together. And it just feels so wonderful. So that's what I feel like we're stepping into. And specifically, how are we changing? That one I might have to ponder a little bit. Why don't you speak, and maybe I'll have some thoughts.
What's funny? I feel that I agree with you wholeheartedly on all the future site things, future state stuff rather. So 100% agree with you on that. It's taken me a little bit longer. You used to say early on when we were dating, you'll catch up. It's taken me a little bit longer to settle in. And I love what you said earlier. It's the trust thing, right?
Yep.
I just have so much respect for you. Last night when I was out of town, you sent me, because you were looking for pictures of you were browsing through stuff, and you sent me a montage of commercials you had done.
Oh, yeah.
And I had an ear-to-ear smile. And it was funny because I say this to you all the time. Everyone else sees the model, and I never saw it. I got to see you. I get what no one else gets to see. And so to that end, I have so much respect for what you did in your career. I have so much respect for you as a mom and a sister and a daughter and a friend, that I'm honored to be in your presence. I really am. The fact that you pick me out of, well, unless you're changing your mind now. I really mean it. The fact that you pick me is amazing.
You put a ring on it, babe.
Yeah. I've always said to you, and maybe I've said it on a podcast, I don't remember. I know I say to you all the time, that if someone were to ask me why or what it is that I like so much about Kathy, it's actually that I get to be myself.
Oh my
That
gosh.
you truly
Sounds so simple, doesn't it? It's like, well, who else would you be?
Right, but
and it's crazy how we become somebody else to make other people happy. And so much of that is just part of our own self-preservation, that we are making those choices,
Yeah. And so where I feel we've changed is we've really morphed into a couple. But I've never felt avoidant or anxious with you. I don't know if you feel this. You feel the same. I know you do. Like, I get on the plane, go to my trips, and I'm absolutely comfortable that you're doing your shit, I'm doing my shit.
Yes.
Nothing ever crosses my mind that would interfere or affect that comfort.
Right.
And so where I feel we're changing is that we're just getting closer and closer all the time, and yet still remaining independent. Still supporting one another's independent goals and dreams and visions, still collaborating on what we both want to do. We still fight, still disagree. It's much better now. They can be intense. We can both be in our way. I will say, as I've been saying this whole time, I'm just honored to be with you.
I'm with you, babe.
I really am.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure. And I know you've applied for a few more modeling things and acting things that are coming up, and man, I'd like nothing more than to be there with you. I'm just concerned that the one thing we have not stopped doing since we met, there's only one thing we have not stopped doing. You know what it is?
Laughing.
All the time.
and
We
talking.
laugh and talk all the time.
Yeah.
And I would love to go to the studio, and I have a feeling I'd get kicked out because you'd be cracking up. So I just really appreciate this. And the podcast from Scott and Kara and Esther had a profound effect. I mean, I wanted us to look at one another and see where we are. So,
yes.
and then kind of focus on relationships again. And maybe someone listening to this who's going through a divorce or a separation or contemplating it or is struggling out there in dating. You and I struggled dating for years.
Absolutely.
Right. And we thought we landed some things and realized we didn't. And this feels way different than anything I've experienced in my life.
Yeah. Agreed.
Right.
Agreed.
It's just awesome. So we want to do a card, even though we've done all this other stuff?
Let's do it.
Okay. So we're going to do a skin deep question, one for each of us. Mm-hmm. Okay. How about we pick for the other this time? We'll do it a little bit differently.
Okay.
We'll pick for the other person.
Okay.
That's your card.
Okay.
And you pick my card.
All right.
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. I love that outfit that you're wearing, by the way.
You do?
Yeah, the camera can't show it, but it's very accentuating.
Oh, goodness.
Do you know what I mean by accentuating?
Yeah, on my shoulders.
It shows off your shoulders.
Yes.
That's what I meant, prevert.
Okay. Do you think that we're still a good match? Why or why not?
Oh my God, we're such a good match. This whole podcast was about it.
Yes, it was.
There are some things that we're very different in. Like when we talked on the way to the airport yesterday, right? How, and I think I over talked, and I also think I ended well, right? But how not letting fear be a debilitator, right?
Yes.
Because I feel sometimes you lead with fear, or fear can get in front of you.
My insecurities and hence the fear can be the first knee-jerk reaction. And I love, though, that you make me feel safe to have that, because you know that you see that vulnerable side, and that's not necessarily what we show the rest of the world, right? You have the same, you've had those same moments where you might get really pissy about something.
Right.
And
Right.
and you're like, that's just you that get to listen to
Right.
gets to listen
I
to
do.
this shit.
I always say to you,
The
you're
rest of the
either
world
very lucky
doesn't.
or very unfortunate that you get to see this side of me.
Yes.
Right,
So allowing that
That's
other
true.
person to be
That's true.
like a complete moron or weak or whatever, and knowing that they just need that space to express that vulnerability, and then right the ship and be like, okay, empower thyself. Think of it this way instead of that way. And so that was kind of one of the moments yesterday.
We complement each other very well on that.
Yeah.
And that's where our differences are our strengths, but our compatibility is what crushes us.
Yeah.
Because we both approach it with kindness. That's, yes.
Right.
I thoroughly agree we're a good match.
Okay.
Still. Do you agree?
Yes.
Okay. My turn for you.
Okay.
Oh, this is a good one. When was the last time you felt suffocated by this relationship, and why?
Oh,
I like that question. You like that question?
suffocated.
Do you like it? Answer it. Do you like it? Answer it. You feeling suffocated right now because you're not answering the question fast enough?
Thank you for illustrating what I go through. I would say probably our last fight.
What?
I can't even remember what it was about.
The recent one?
Yeah.
You felt suffocated by that one?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Well, it is what it is. I mean, I'm sure you didn't feel that great during it either, but
I felt I was right, so I felt perfect.
oh, there it is.
You felt suffocated, though? That's a pretty strong word.
Yeah, I guess so. And I guess I think of suffocated as I'm not being heard.
Oh, okay. What?
As he yawns through what I say.
No, that's because it's late.
Yeah.
You don't want me to get into a car right now, do you? You prefer that I didn't, right?
I prefer that you didn't. Yeah.
Okay.
We can go early in the morning.
I really liked this podcast. And
Me
if
too.
I can recommend to anyone who listens to this, please go listen to Pivot with Scott Galloway and Kara Swisher and Esther
it's
Perel.
a really great,
It's something
really great podcast. Very smart opinions, and they're not always of the same opinion, but they respectfully listen to the other. And
if you have
it's a good relationship.
if you have a chance to even take some of what we're talking about with your relationship, might be a good thing to do. Is just go through some of the questions we ask one another. Like, what are you grateful for in this relationship? How do I have influence on you? And how do you see us changing and growing? And then certainly get the skin deep questions. They're great.
Yeah.
So thanks for doing this podcast.
Right.
I know you weren't at
babe.
100% with your Kanagan.
Yes.
And I hope you feel better, baby. I
Thank
love
you.
you.
Love you too.
And on
Thanks,
that
babe.
note, everyone, peace.
You just listened to another episode of the Jack and Kathy Shit Show. All recording, engineering, and production provided by us. Connect with the podcast on Instagram at Jack and Kathy Shit Show for more insight into our shit show of a life. This episode is proudly brought to you by Pint Productions.
Point.